Hello, it's 1:15 in the morning and somewhere Kyrie Irving is probably still getting buckets. I'm Andy Moore, and alongside me is Chris Cusack, and we're here tonight to break down Duke's 84-79 win over Michigan State. Chris, what jumps off to you right now?
I think you said it. It's Kyrie Irving. He had 31 points. It's 14 more than he's ever scored in a Duke game. He was sensational. He just could get by anybody really tonight.
Kyrie Irving, it's tough to overstate it, possibly made a case as one of the front runners for at least ACC Player of the Year. I know it's 7 games in the season, but he was absurd. He hit shot after shot. He went to the rack like I don't think we've seen any Duke player do it since Jason Williams. I don't know. It's tough to really.
Coach K even said that after the game in his press conference. He said he kept comparing Kyrie to Jason Williams. Maybe he said he's not one of the best players in college basketball has ever seen like Jason Williams was, but he's certainly got some of the qualities and the attributes that Jason had. And I think you saw that tonight. I mean, one moment sticks out to me. He went with about 2 minutes left in the game. He dribbled by 3 defenders up to the free throw line, went back out to the corner, and then with a few seconds left on the shot clock, drove by everybody again and laid it in. And it looked like it wasn't.
And what I loved most about that moment is this has been a point that's really been bugging Duke fans for years now. They'll have kind of a slight lead for the last 5 minutes of the game, and then Coach K will kind of take the air out of the ball, have the 2 guards up at half court and kind of dribble back and forth. But what that happens is a lot of times the offense is really getting moving, but Kyrie showed that it could be 5 seconds left on the shot clock. He's still going to take it to the hole. He'll still get the shot. I mean, we haven't, like I said, not been a player like that in some time.
Well, I think the bottom line is it certainly makes the preseason All-American pick of Harrison Barnes look a little bit silly in comparison
yes.
to the last couple of games.
For sure. So there was another unsung hero in this game, or actually there was one unsung hero in this game, and that was Mason Plumlee. Coach K had some very kind words to say about him after the game. Tell him what he said.
Well, basically said, Kyrie was sensational, obviously, but without Mason, the team wouldn't have won the game. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you look at Mason, he had 10 points and 10 rebounds, which isn't his great or best statistical night, but he also had no fouls for the first time, and he played 35 minutes. I guess he's had no fouls before, but not in that much time. He really had to step up and take the place of some of the other big guys who really were absent.
And I think it's important to say that he played 35 minutes, and 5 of those minutes he was out was when he was actually injured. He was playing so hard, he got hurt, and just had to be taken out at that point.
Yeah, there was no way Coach K was going to take him out of that game. I mean, he was playing so well on defense, and also he was just keeping people out of the inside. When you have guys like Lucius and Lucas who can really drive to the hole and make things happen, it's so important to have a big guy who can make stops.
And he really covered the deficiencies of his brother, Miles, who once again showed that he's not really shaping up to be the type of player that we kind of expected him to be this year. And also Ryan Kelly. Kelly didn't have a spectacular game, but he definitely wasn't the force that Mason seems to be inside. And, lost in all the preseason hype of Duke team was Mason, and Mason's really showing right now that he might have been deserved with that hype.
Well, I think the only people who saw that were the NBA scouts, who've, at the end of last season picked Mason to be one of the top 10 picks in this coming season's NBA draft, and now he's kind of floated around there in any poll you've seen, but I mean, he really showed it tonight. He was physical, he was dominant, and I just think he's it helped that he really had to step up when Miles and Ryan really weren't helping him as much as they have on the inside.
Definitely. And I hate to sound like we're nitpicking here on a win over a top 10 team, but also a person who seems to be lost in the shuffle right now is Seth Curry. Another game where Curry was basically a non-factor. He's a defensive liability again tonight, and he had another poor shooting performance. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him in the rotation for the rest of the year.
Well, I mean, Coach K must have been looking for reasons to get guys kind of out of that shuffle in the backcourt. I mean, there's so many great guards on this team. He's been looking for a reason to get guys out, and well, he doesn't have to worry about Seth for a little while now.
Well, something might change. He's still a very good player.
Sure, he is.
All right, so any lasting thoughts about this win over Michigan State tonight?
Well, I know the kids behind me in the front row at center court were out there Saturday night for the game, and except for one notable exception who I think picked up the flu along the way, they were all very excited that they made that commitment.
I'm sure they were still regretting the decision to sleep outside under a tarp for 5 nights. Tornado warning last night, but maybe I'm a pessimist. All right, anyway, thank you for watching. Tune in next time when we have another big game. We'll break it down for you then.